Do you rip out a seam 3 times because the points do not match perfectly? Do you own a finished quilt top that has been sitting in a bag for 6 months because you're afraid to bind it wrong? If either of those sounds familiar, stay with me, because by the end of this video, you will know exactly why you do this, and more importantly, how to stop. Today we are talking about a topic that comes up in my inbox constantly: perfectionism in quilting. It quietly stalls more projects than fabric shortages, time constraints, or lack of skill ever could. I'm going to walk you through 3 signs that you might be a perfectionist quilter, and I will share a simple mindset shift for each one that has helped me and many others actually finish quilts. Number 2 is going to surprise you, so make sure you watch until the end. Sign number 1, the seam ripper is your most used tool. The first sign is your seam ripper gets more use than your rotary cutter. If your 1/4 inch seam is slightly off, you unpick it. If a point is not razor sharp, you unpick it. Sound familiar? Here is the truth that nobody tells you. Quilting is a handmade craft and not a machine manufactured product. The tiny imperfections are what make it yours. I want you to try something called the arm's length test, which I did recently in a video about this quilt. Hold your block or quilt top out at arm's length. If you cannot spot the flaw from there, it does not matter. Nobody hugging that quilt on the couch is going to grab a magnifying glass and point out a mismatch point. Now, sign number 2 is the one that trips up even experienced quilters, and it has nothing to do with stitching at all. Sign number 2, you are still researching instead of starting. The second sign is called analysis paralysis. You've watched 15 tutorials on the perfect binding method. You have read every blog post comparing battings. You have 3 different rulers because you were not sure which one was correct. And yet, you have not actually started cutting fabric yet. This one is sneaky because it disguises itself as due diligence. It feels productive. But at a certain point, research becomes a very comfortable way to avoid the risk of making a mistake. The fix here is simple, though not necessarily easy. Pick out a project, gather your supplies, and give yourself permission to learn by doing rather than by watching. Your first quilt does not need to be your best quilt. Believe me, mine wasn't. It only needs to exist. And speaking of gathering the right supplies, without falling into analysis paralysis, if you are new to quilting or thinking about upgrading your machine, I do not want you spending weeks on end comparing spec sheets. So I put together a free guide called the Sewing Machine Buying Guide, and it walks you through exactly what to look for so that you can make a confident decision quickly. If you're enjoying this video, make sure you grab it by clicking the link below. Sign number 3, you compare your work to Pinterest. The third sign is comparison. You scroll through beautifully lit, pretty photographed quilts online, and then you look at your own work under your kitchen light and feel discouraged. Here's what those photos do not show you: the 11th version of that block, the seams that got picked out, the messy middle when it was an absolute disaster in the making, or the years of practice behind that single post. Comparison steals the joy out of a craft that is supposed to be relaxing. Instead of comparing your quilt to someone else's quilt, try comparing your current quilt to your first quilt, if you've already made a few quilts. That is the only fair comparison, and I promise you, you will see real growth. To recap, watch your relationship with your seam ripper, notice when research turns into avoidance, and stop comparing your work to Pinterest. Perfectionism does not disappear overnight, but awareness is the first real step towards unlearning it. Take it from a recovering perfectionist. If this video helped you see your own habits a little differently, please give it a thumbs up and don't forget to download the free Sewing Machine Buying Guide linked below. It takes the guesswork out of one of the biggest early decisions in this craft, so you can spend your energy on the fun part actually quilting. Happy quilting.